Hey, what's good? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth, and today I'm going to hit y'all with a review of the new Rome Streetz and DJ Muggs album entitled Death and the Magician. Let's get to it. Alright, so Rome Streetz is a rapper coming out of Brooklyn, New York. When I think of East Coast lyricists who are killing it right now in terms of consistently dropping stellar verses, Ransom and Rome Streetz easily come to mind. Now, Rome Streetz is an artist who has been dropping a plethora of projects since about 2016. He has a unique flow, and the way he constructs his bars is really different from anyone else. With Rome Streetz, you are going to get authentic lyrical street rap. There's typically a lot of drug and hustling references in his music, but there's usually a cautionary message or story involved rather than just a glorification of that lifestyle. It is important to note that Rome Streetz is just as thoughtful as an MC as he is a gritty one. Looking back, he had a productive 2020, releasing projects like Noise Candy 4, the Farmer Beats produced Contraband album, as well as some impressive feature verses. Now in 2021, Rome Streetz has decided to link with the legendary DJ Muggs to release his first album of the year. And when I first heard months ago that these two were doing a collaborative album, I couldn't wait for the product to finally arrive. This album, Death and the Magician, contains 13 tracks, one being a skit with a total runtime of 33 minutes. You will be able to tell from the title of the album and the cover art that an occult-like theme will be explored, and that is to be expected on DJ Muggs projects. I feel like he always manages to bring the artist he is working with into his dark and shadowy world. I just want to say before I do this breakdown that I feel like the Muggs production was a little understated on here. To be honest, I have heard far more enticing, attractive, and mind-blowing instrumentals from him in the past. But I think what he was trying to do here was to provide a backdrop that would allow for Rome Streetz and his lyrics to be the focal point. Don't get me wrong, the beats are solid, some really dope, but I wasn't necessarily as impressed with these as much as I was with the instrumentals he laced Crime Apple, Ito, or Al Divino with. I'm just keeping it a buck. I understand this probably is not going to be a popular opinion, but it's no shade towards this legend, as I have nothing but immense respect for DJ Muggs. But with that being said, let me go ahead and give y'all this track by track breakdown. The intro, Six of Cups, is a skit with Rome Streetz and another man talking about the rise of shootings that have occurred in the streets since COVID hit. It's a dangerous time because people are going through it. Rome Streetz states that he is told that it's better to stay safe than it is to stay dangerous, but looking at the situation, it's actually better to stay dangerous so you're ready for when them killers and those wolves come knocking at your door. That way you won't get caught lacking. I like this intro because it has a cinematic and almost mafioso energy to it. Track 1, Prayers Over Packages, has a bizarre and ethereal instrumental. Rome Streetz's first verse is fire. There's a ton of quote-worthy bars. What gets you killed faster? Too much love, trust, and truth. What's the difference between Malcolm Martin and Huey Newt? Sometimes a dude's downfall is who he knew. Do you view the world through wise eyes, or is your mind in a hula hoop? We woke but still sold rotten fruit in pursuit of loot. This is conscious street music. These are all deep things to contemplate on. Like, we could do a deep dive into dissecting all that he talked about on this first verse, as Rome was definitely spitting some streetwise wisdom for sure. And like I said, it is a strange beat, but it did grow on me after repeated listen. Track 2, Ace of Swords, has a punchy and gritty instrumental with the sounds of water bubbling or dripping in the background. There's a theme of staying on point and getting all the pieces to the puzzle. Some standout lines were, seen a gram of dope, turn a baller to Earl Manigault. Streets will leave you poisoned with no antidote. put me in a group with you guys, bet I come out with a Sherling coat. So he's referencing the street basketball legend Earl Manigault, who had to give up his hoop dreams after becoming an addict. Now I'm linked with Muggs, the Trump bump like bad skin, breakout performance, y'all dormant, I'm tapped in. It's slick braggadocio lines like this that you can pretty much find on every song. Track 3, The Manuscript, is sort of a hustling and get money anthem. The beat is slightly eerie, but a little more up-tempo. He has a half-sung hook, which I actually liked, as I haven't heard him use this particular style of refrain before. He states, "My eyes ain't blinded by the trick knowledge, caught a case, got kicked out, I ain't skipped college, but got my intellect from dark deals for dirty dollars, wise writers and ghetto survivors." The following track, High Explosives, has this vintage horn loop that sounds like old Soul Assassin's Muggs. I instantly like this beat for its gritty and soulful feel. This track had a lot of boastful and braggadocio bars, but I did like how he dropped a jewel on the following lines. "If you lit, it's smart for you to act like you ain't got shit. Play it low key like Fritz and reap the benefits." Now, Fritz was a Harlem drug kingpin who was known for staying low key. He didn't want the flash or attention. He just bubbled in the cut and got his money. And I think that should be your goal when you're involved in that lifestyle, but it's actually very difficult for people to do, as they tend to lack that self-discipline. What follows is Zigzag Zig. This has a dark and gritty soul sample with a violin. Rome Streetz paints his come up in the streets while also dropping some 5%er wisdom. "I'm the alpha and omega, A to Z, Allah zigzag zig. My only concern is if the bag big. Black kids never had it easy, had to grind for this. But understand, land is more important than designer shit." But it was Knowledge the Pirate who really spazzed on here. To be honest, I didn't expect it. Now maybe I haven't listened to enough Knowledge the Pirate, but he impressed me here. "Called this philanthropy. We gave these dudes amnesty, fucked up their roots, broke off the branches, then we split the tree. And all my guys touched dirty money, but did it honorably, moving them pharmaceuticals on them corners like the pharmacy. I know your vices. You want to take a thug's image and his likeness, but you scared to death of them drug indictments." Track 7, Stone Cold Soul, is easily my favorite on this project. I mean, this beat sounds like a modern day equivalent to Temples of Boom Muggs with the dirty guitar riff and nocturnal bells. You know, low the fashion, roam the stone cold soul assassin, cut the grass to view the cobra passing, kill his ass with no compassion, the boldest action, I control the globe and hold the laughing, fully tapped in, I don't know distraction. So Rome Streetz was floating effortlessly over this crisp as signature Muggs beat. Another highlight is Devil's Chord, which contains a haunting piano melody. It's subtle but deadly, and it actually kind of reminds me of a combination of late 90s Muggs and Alchemist production. But on here, Rome is spitting some high-level street rap. There's a lot of vivid, hustling imagery, but also this message of perseverance as he reflects back to the nights that he didn't have shit and that it was eating him up inside. Then we get the upbeat and dance hall inspired Shooting at the Dance Hall. Now, DJ Muggs has a history of incorporating some Jamaican patois and sound boy flavor into his music, so this was nothing new, but I really dug the energy to this one. Only fucking with robbers, never respect a thief. Didn't listen to the preacher preach, I was in the street. Didn't understand how they could kill a man until I seen blood and brains splattered on the scene, not a TV screen. Not only is he dropping jewels while telling his story, but he's also paying homage to the classic Cypress Hill track, How I Could Just Kill a Man. Then he adds some more shout outs like, still the flow is oh so ghetto like Jay-Z and D&D, and pumping that poisonous product like BDP. Lines like these just show how Rome Streetz is a student of this rap game. What follows is Wheel of Fortune, a record where Rome Streetz does some storytelling on top of a ominous and suspenseful beat. There's also the Wheel of Fortune game show sample in the background, and on social media, Rome Streetz stated that he was paying homage to GZA and Muggs' Grandmaster's album on this track. You know, storytelling is one of Rome Streetz' strengths, and he did his thing on this one as expected. Track 11, Hornet Halo, has another dope Muggs beat. The haunting vocal sample and eerie guitar will likely give you flashbacks to earlier Muggs production. I was also getting some RZA and Rock Marcy vibes here. But Rome Streetz and Riggs from the Cloth both spit some hardcore street bars on this evil sounding beat. The second to last track, Fly Obnoxious, finds Rome Streetz going in over this up-tempo and mystical beat. The drums are dense and penetrating, and Rome Streetz is rapping like he has something to prove. Then the album wraps up with Fuck You Know About Me. This contains a jazzy horn loop that sounds like it could have been lifted off a 70s sitcom or some commercial from that era. Now, I can't say that I was particularly in love with this beat because, in my opinion, it sounded like something that Griselda, The God Fahim, Nicholas Craven, or even Alchemist has already done. And I'm sure the argument could be made that DJ Muggs was actually onto that sound before those guys were, but I don't know. I mean, it's still solid, but it is my least favorite track due to the familiarity in sound. Overall, I give this project a rating of 4 mics. I would say lyrically, it's at 4.5. But the production is probably closer to a strong 3.5. So at the moment, I'm going with 4 mics. It might go up with repeated listens, but I don't know. Remember, this is just my opinion, but I can't say that I found these to be the dopest Muggs beats in a while. Still, they were solid to very good, and they serve their purpose, no doubt. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was done intentionally so Muggs could give Rome Streetz the shine that he deserves as an MC. I mean, look, you don't have to agree with me about the beats, as I'm sure most of you won't, but I obviously like them enough to give this thing a 4. Hopefully, with DJ Muggs' name attached, this project will give more exposure to Rome Streetz because he's definitely a beast on the mic and one of the best lyricists in the game at the moment. My favorite tracks include The Manuscript, High Explosive, Zig Zag Zig, Stone Cold Soul, The Devil's Core, Wheel of Fortune, and Hornet Halo. Let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section below. What should I check out next? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Rome Streetz, DJ Muggs, Death and the Magician, 1.